So, welcome back to my channel. I'm Olivia. I'm normally with my daughter Jamie, but today I wanted to talk to you about something a bit serious. Last time I was looking for something for my daughter, for my baby, and I searched on YouTube, why do babies, and I forgot what I was looking for, but what came up was, why do babies cry? And I said, wow, I've never looked that up really. And I said, let me tell the people looking on YouTube myself, my experience about babies crying. First of all, I hate crying. I know I have 3 kids, but I have always hated crying babies. I mean, my first cried a lot and a lot. This one, the third, cries a lot as well. So I got my experience the hard way. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm nothing. I'm just a mom, and I've been through it. So 9 years ago, when I had my daughter, 9.5 years ago, nearly 10 now, I used to think that babies will cry, you just pick them up, hold them for a while, and maybe they will stop. With my eldest, it wasn't the case. She just screamed and shouted. The more I held her to me, the more she pushed away, and she screamed more and more. So we were a group of friends, and all my friends had babies as well. Babies who slept, babies who didn't cry so much. So I was feeling a bit bad because all of my friends' babies slept. They fed them, they slept. It was okay. In my case, I had to deal with a crying baby the whole day and sometimes also all night. Now, what I hated was that some of my friends used to actually tell me, or not friends actually, the elder, friends, mommies, friends, moms of friends, so the other generation, the older generation. They used to tell me, okay, if a baby is clean, well fed and happy, then that baby won't cry. And that used to make me feel so bad because I was taking care of my baby, I was loving my baby, I was cleaning my baby, feeding my baby. Why would my baby cry all the time? So to cut a long story short, I have a little tips for those who have a baby and who want their baby to cry maybe a bit less, or else to get to know at least why they are crying. So first of all, I used to go through a sort of checklist. I mean, I've never written it or anything. I never wrote it on a piece of paper, but I used to go through, and even now I have another baby. So the first thing I normally do is see if the baby is tired. Normally, that's the case. At least my kids, when they're sleepy, they cry and cry and cry. Like this one, I just put her to bed now. She was crying so hard, just that she was tired. It's like, oh no, I'm tired. I don't know what goes on in their heads, but they cry a lot. So first, I put them in the pushchair. I tie them up so they don't move because they want to go up. They want to, fight the sleepiness. They want to wake up again. They want to keep going. So I tie her and I put the seatbelt on. I put the back low and I rock her gently. I put her in a room there where it's a bit quieter. I put the lights a bit down and I start rocking them. If the baby sleeps, like in this case, now she slept. See? Now we're fine. I can talk to you quietly. If that's the case, then she was just tired and she slept. That's it. No more crying. If the baby keeps going and going and going, then it was not that she was tired. Another thing in my case would be that they're thirsty or hungry. So if it's a baby, of course, you give the milk. I used to do the mistake with my eldest. I used to give her the milk the first thing. Sometimes it wasn't that. So then she got used to having the milk first. So first I try to put her to sleep without milk. And then if she keeps on crying, then it means that she's hungry. So it's either milk, or if they're a bit older, like my daughter, sometimes she is hungry. That's why she cries. She comes to me when she's very clingy. Normally she's hungry. and I give her something to eat or to drink. Another thing, which is usually a cry that you will understand because they're hurt. It means that something is hurting them. Like, for example, they either need to burp, or they have gas, or somewhere is hurting them. I mean, they can't tell you and you'll never know. But maybe you just pick them up. So if you rock them and they don't sleep, if you give them the milk and they keep crying, they push it back, it means that they're in pain. So in my case, the first thing that I do is I take them to the nappy changer, I undress them, I take the nappy off, and I put the legs up, and I do like bicycle. That helps, because if they have gas, that will help them feel better. In fact, sometimes you feel that they're being a bit more flexible, because they'll be tense, they'll be very tense. Another thing is teething, which really there's not a lot to do. Okay, there's a teething gel, but I don't really use it a lot because the effect is for a few minutes. So I mean, I'll try to see what I can do, but normally they have to go through that pain, unfortunately. And sometimes, as I said, it's another part of the body that we can't understand. Sometimes in my daughter's case, the eyelashes go beneath. So when she's really crying and she's touching her eyes, I just check if she has her eyelashes in her eyes. So of course, babies can't speak, and that's why we have to look out for these things. In my eldest daughter's case, it is check their temperature, not the temperature for a fever. Check if they're feeling hot or cold. If their hands are really cold and their face is really cold, then it could be that the baby needs to be covered with a blanket or something. If they're warm, in my case, they really hated feeling hot. If their hands are really hot and you can see that they're starting to sweat, then take off a layer. Sometimes babies, although we tend to put in another layer, sometimes they're so cozy, either in my case, sleeping in my bed, they get really warm, or else, for example, they're in a pram and it's cozy, it tends to put the temperature up. So sometimes all you need to do is just undress the baby. When mine were really crying and I didn't know what they have, whether it was pain or, I like to undress them completely and either give them a bath. It normally calms them down as well, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you now why they cry normally, why mine cried. So that's what I usually do. I take them on the nappy changer, undress them, and they normally feel free. Sometimes it is also a soiled nappy, or if it's full of pee, sometimes it's just that annoys them, or it starts hurting them, or it's becoming too tight. Even if a nappy is a bit too tight, you check the clothes. Another thing is if the clothes are itchy. Sometimes once I realized that my son was crying really, really hard. He was still a baby. I didn't know why he was crying. He spent the whole day crying. A week later, I put on a same t-shirt for him, which had a very long label on the inside. And I realized that it was scratching his back. So that's why that baby was crying. So it's something small, but it helps to know. So if you have labels or anything, just cut them, not cut them with scissors, but literally take them off. Because sometimes when you cut them with the scissors, they stay there and they're worse. They hurt even more. Yes, tight clothes, even if it's if it has elastic and you feel that it's a bit tight, it's better to have it a bit big with babies than having it tight. Even socks. The socks, I like to put socks when they sleep on top over the trousers. So the elastic around the socks will not be around touching the skin to put, sometimes you put the skin in and it will hurt them. So I put the trousers and I put the socks on top so that it won't hurt them. Sometimes they cried just to get my attention. Sometimes they only wanted mommy, they wanted me to hug them. Maybe they were feeling a bit lonely. We don't know what's going through their minds, really. Another thing is that babies cry because that is how they communicate. So if she wants to tell me, hey, I'm here, she can't say, mommy, I'm here. So she just whines or cries. So I hope that this will help even just one person. I hope that it will help many more. This is my case, of course, as I told you. So not all babies are the same. Sometimes you have babies that don't even cry, but if you searched why do babies cry, it means that your baby cries. Now I'm going to give you two examples. I'm going to show you two examples of when my daughter was crying and what she wanted exactly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will be giving you more of these things, my experiences. You're hungry? You're hungry? Let's see if you're hungry. You want some yogurt? Huh? Yes. It's okay. Good girl, Amy. What's wrong, Amy? Okay. Are you okay now? Yes. Okay. Oh, that's okay.